Okay. All right. Your life. Nityanandam, welcome back to Ashtavakra Gita, session number 2 today. Today is 12th of July 2023. My name is Mani Tiadugananda, and a very warm welcome to all of you, Kalasa Singapore. And today we're going to have a very, I would say, very exciting session. I mean, I've been practicing for the last few days. Is just amazing. So I can't wait to share with all of you. Okay. So before we enter into the session itself, let's prepare our body and inner space to receive this great truth, which is going to be shared by Ashtavakra Gita. Okay. So let's sit with the back straight now. Bring awareness to the body from head to the toes. Settle your awareness on your physical body, the boundary where the skin ends. Within this inside the skin is your gross body, stula sharira. So just bring awareness to the entire body. So occupy the whole body with your awareness. Then expand your awareness to the next layer to encompass your breath awareness. So inhaling very slowly and deeply. Enter into a gap, a pause, then exhale very slowly and completely. And enter into the second gap. And continue to breathe your inhalation and exhalation with awareness of both gaps. The neutral zone between incoming breath, outgoing breath, and incoming breath. Slow down the breathing. Infuse prana shakti, the life energy, throughout the whole body. Throughout every cell in the body. Enter into the space of listening. Only when you listen without judgment, without anything from the past, you are in the pure listening. All awareness transformation starts with listening. Shravana. So drop all conditioning from the past, hangover from the past, just in the pure awareness in deep listening. In that restful awareness and listening space, let's invoke Swamiji. By joining the palms together in Amajali Mudra in front of your heart center, your Anahata chakra. So we're going to chant the Sadguru Vandanam, invoking his presence, followed by 3 rounds, the Mahavakya. Take a deep breath. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamutin Dvandvatitam Gagana Shatrisham Tattvamasyarilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Savadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunadahitam Satguruntam Namami. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you who are connected now live with me on Zoom. And I know there are a few new people who are joining for the first time. They didn't join last week. Today is the second session of the Ashtavakra Gita. Now, Ashtavakra, okay, he's a sage. Ashta means 8, Vakra means curve. This sage, this enlightened being, was born with 8 deformities in the body. That's why his name is called Ashtavakra. Okay, the Gita means Song of God, which is the truth he delivered to the whole world. So today we're entering into the 3rd verse. So before we enter to the 3rd verse, let's do a quick recap what we spoke last week, so that for the benefit of those people who are joining for the first time today, they have that continuity. So next slide. So in the last session, last Wednesday, actually Ashtavakra gave 2 truths. And he said, because King Janaka, remember he came to see King Janaka, and in the end, King Janaka recognized his enlightened being. So he fell on his feet and asked Ashtavakra to reveal the truth, the wisdom that he has. So he reviews the first 2 verses. He says, if you aspire for liberation, my child, shun the objects of the senses as poison. Because when you are falling into the sense pleasure or falling into the object in the outer world, these are poison. And seek forgiveness, sincerity, kindness, contentment, and truth as the nectar, amrita, the thing that gives you the sweetness in life. Okay, so this was the first verse he gave. Then in the second truth he gave, he expresses the technology to achieve this state. How to achieve the state of that complete bliss. He said, you are neither the earth, nor water, fire, nor air, nor ether, which means you're beyond the 5 elements. Okay, so he said to attain liberation, to realize the self as a knower of all these, and consciousness itself. So basically he said, go beyond this, matter, right? What you associate as matter through the 5 elements. Okay, so let's enter into the next slide. So today's session, Ashtavakra, the enlightened sage, gave the next sutra to reach freedom. Okay, so he says, if you detach from the body and rest in intelligence, you will at once be happy, peaceful, free from bondage. Okay, let's break down some of the key words in this sutra. Okay, he said detach from the body means what? It's not ignoring the body. It means unclutch from this body, knowing that you have this body, but you know that you are not confined, your existence to only body and mind. Okay, so he said detach from the body and rest in intelligence. See, the moment you get your mind out of the way and just become aware, your body, you will connect with the body intelligence. Can you go back to the slide? Wait, I think she moved. Yes, can you put a slideshow?
Strange, I didn't move anything actually.
I don't know what happened. Okay, yes, stay there. Completing for some technical glitch, but let's continue. So he said in these sutras, okay, in these 2 sutras, he said, completely express whatever he wants to say. He usually say that, see, intelligence is required to explain things in a clear manner, right? You need to have that intelligence to grasp the deeper truth. So to understand these truths from these 2-3 statements, it requires intelligence. Okay, don't take it as a face value. Let's see what intelligence is needed. That's why in yoga, when your brain starts to develop the subtle brain grooves, this is where you are able to grasp the deeper truth. For some people who have not developed subtle brain groove, even the truth is given to everybody, they can't catch it. You will just fly above their head and they just cannot even connect at all. So only when a vegetarian mind a mind that is, fed on vegetarianism, that means don't eat meat and all this, the brain can develop subtle brain grooves to catch the higher truth. That's why in Vedic tradition, this whole lifestyle of living enlightenment, we are vegetarian. By our nature, the body is tuned to become vegetarian. Okay, so if you want to develop subtle brain groove intelligence, become vegetarian. Okay, because you need that to catch the higher truth. All right, let me just continue. So Swamiji says, when he was trying to explain this third verse, he said the concept that there is something called enlightenment, okay, that it is possible. So in the first session, he established that this is something called enlightenment. It is possible, okay, and there is something called living in the body and mind without being touched by the body mind. Okay, first, he established that there's such thing as enlightenment and it is possible for everybody. Okay, the next thing he said that, oh, you can also be living in a body and mind, but without being touched by the body and mind. Okay, so then you say how to do it, right? So he'll give the technology later on. So if we can live inside the body mind without being touched by the body mind, we can live a liberated life, which means what? You need to unclutch from the body and mind. And even though you're using the body and mind as a tool, but you're not touched, that means what? You are falling into the consciousness. It means awareness. So the first thing that we need to understand is enlightenment is possible. So that is the first powerful cognition you need to have. Because some people, when they start thinking, oh, enlightenment is not possible or it's not for me, then they close all the doors. They will not even try. They will not even put in time, effort, energy to even explore. So first of all, you need to feel that, yes, enlightenment is possible and it's also possible for me. Then you will start moving towards the adventure into the self. When your mind already closed, then nothing can be done. It's just like people say that, oh, you can heal yourself, but when they feel that I cannot be healed, nothing can be done. They already given up on themselves. Okay, so first of all of you here, you need to establish this fundamental truth given by the enlightened master that enlightenment is possible. Okay, then if you understand the technology given to us by Ashtavakra, okay, so establishing the great truth, and then what is the technology to achieve that state? It is not only possible, it is also guaranteed. That means once you establish that, it can never be taken away. Come, all of you settle down. So you have the courage, if you have the courage to enter into the technology given by Ashtavakra, then you can just have it. You can enjoy it. Okay? See, one great thing about Ashtavakra Gita, okay? In the traditional Vedanta philosophy, that means, see, in Vedic tradition, there are many streams of philosophy, right? Many streams of knowledge. And one stream is called Vedanta, which is about, what you call it? The truth. And to digest this truth, they give 3 steps. One is Shravana, listening. Then Manana, contemplation. Third is Nidhyasana, which means living it. Okay? So these are the 3 steps in Vedanta. For any truth that they give, you have to go through these 3 steps. But the interesting thing for Ashtavakra Gita is you don't need manana, you don't need contemplation, just pure listening. So all of you, that's why I told you, you need to be in a listening space. When you're in the listening space and it click with you, you start living it. Okay? That is the beauty of this technology given by Ashtavakra. Okay? So next slide. So all you need to understand is 2 simple things. Okay? First, you're not the body and mind. You're something more than that. Correct? Okay? Now, the second thing you need to know is if you detach from this body and rest in intelligence, you will at once be happy, peaceful, and free from bondage. Okay, so understand this one thing: all the suffering, all the things that you are suffering right now in your life is nothing but your attachment to this body. Okay, when I say all, capital letter ALL, if you look at those people who are suffering, okay, it is because they relate only this, the existence of this body mind. So Ashtavakra say that if you are able to unclutch from this body, you will find the freedom. You will be happy and peaceful. You just fall into this whole bubbling alive energy. So in today's session, I'm going to make you experience that space, okay? Because I have experienced that space. So if you come along with me from what Swamiji decoded from Ashtavakra, the Gita, if you are able to follow with me, and then later when we go into the process, you will taste that sweetness of that freedom being unclutched from the body. Once you found that space, every morning when you sit, you will be so intensely alive, okay? And all your problem diseases will just leave your system. That much I can tell you. The reason why we have all this problem is because we're hanging on to the body too much. Okay? So now he said that you will immediately become peaceful the very moment you understand that you are not the body or the mind. See, tremendous peace will start happening inside you. See, to enter into bliss, you need to be resting in peace. You cannot experience the bliss if you are not able to attain the inner peace. Okay? So seek inner peace first. But if you attach the body, you can never taste inner peace. Do you understand the the steps now? Give me a thumbs up, you all understand. Okay? So unclutch from the body is the first step to reach the inner peace. Once you reach the inner peace, the bliss will just explode. You will just bubble up, okay? So you will start understanding and accepting yourself as you are. See, one of the problems right now, because of this body mind, you're not able to accept you as you are. You criticize yourself. You find fault in yourself. You're not able to forgive yourself. You're not able to love yourself. All these different dynamics, right? like some of you cannot accept your body. You don't like this body. Or some of you don't like what you did in the past. You're not able to forgive yourself. You're carrying the guilt. So in some way or another, you're not able to be established in accepting yourself as you are. This is the biggest problem. To enter into that outer state, you need to be able to accept yourself as you are. Okay? So he said that in the very moment you start relaxing into yourself. Only when you're able to relax into yourself, the very moment you become silent. The silence can happen only when you are able to relax into yourself. Okay? So the very moment will bring bliss in you. Otherwise, that constant struggle fighting with yourself only have blister. That means feel the pain, feel the tremendous suffering, feel this unsettled feeling within yourself. Okay? So Swamiji says, the moment you understand that you're not the body and mind, you will relax from this whole samsara sagara. Means what? This whole cycle, the ocean of material existence. Because right now, we are already embodied soul. So a lot of time we are taught by society that our existence is all material, this body, this mind. Running behind possession, running behind things, running behind name and fame. So all these are very much related to the material world, the outer world. And we forgot that we're a being, we're a human being, we're not, a matter. So he said that only when you are able to understand you're not just this body mind. You will be able to move to the next level. Okay, you can relax from this ocean of material existence. As long as you continue to associate yourself with the body and mind, you will experience all the sufferings and all the pain of the body and mind. So all the suffering and pain in body that people are so afraid, are so um, in deep depression, is nothing but their attachment to this body mind, including depression. Okay, wait, go back one slide first. I haven't finished it. Yeah. So this is the key cognition you need to catch. When you catch this, you'll be able to do the unclutching from body and mind. Okay? The moment you're able to unclutch from body and mind, which I will show you later on how. But first, you need to understand why we need to unclutch from the body and mind. Okay? Do you understand now? Are you all with me? Okay? So any suffering, especially in come to old age, when you come to old age, which means what? Your body is deteriorating, right? Part of the aging process is that the body will go, right? How do you prepare for that? If your attachment to this body mind, you're going to have a very deep suffering at the old age, because part of it is some organ is dysfunctional, some senses is not able to see properly, all the degeneration start happening. And if you attach to this body and you are not able to function as you used to be, then you fall into depression, correct? And this is what we need to learn at a young age, how to unclutch from the body and mind. So by the time you reach even old age, even the body start going, you're never going to be touched. You're never going to suffer. You understand what I'm saying? Give me a thumbs up. You are catching. Okay. I give you one very classic example. Okay. I had a yoga student. Her uncle, okay, had a stroke a few years back. Okay. And he is one person who enjoyed very rich food because he got high cholesterol, right? Rich food, some kind of like, the the this goat soup, goat bone soup. I don't know what you call it. Some Indian soup. They bone out of the goat bones, no? So it's very rich in cholesterol. Okay, if you go to some other the Indian shop, they have that soup. I cannot remember what's the name. I forgot. Okay, so anyway, he enjoys. See, when I went to scan him, I saw him because she requested me to do healing for him. Okay, so when I scan, I just know this guy enjoy very rich food. Okay, sense pleasure is a big thing for him. So suddenly, after the stroke, the throat, this area muscles become hardened, which means what? He cannot chew and swallow any food anymore. So to me, it's like the biggest punishment to someone who enjoys food, right? Suddenly he cannot eat anymore. And then what he need to do, to sustain him, they open a hole in the throat, okay? And he has to be fed through milk only. So all his entire remaining life is only drinking milk where he can't even taste, just to sustain him, okay? Can you imagine how he fall into depression? When he was living in this for the first few months, he became so angry, so frustrated. You know what he did? He yanked the whole, the milk tube out of the hole in the throat, because he want to eat, he want to taste, and he cannot eat anymore because the muscle here cannot chew and swallow. But he's very frustrated because he doesn't like to take food just through milk only. So there was a huge struggle. He's not able to accept the current state of his body, and yet so much anger and is coming out. Violence is coming out. Okay, so what I'm saying is that because of that, the suffering comes, right? Because he has enjoyed all his life, he never prepared to go beyond that. when you enjoy, obviously you're going to have to pay the consequence of the damage in the body, right? So this is where, if you are able to learn all this through at an earlier stage, you never have to reach that state at the, when you're older. Okay, so next slide. Okay, next slide. So, see, body mind, when you associate yourself with this body mind, is nothing but ego. Okay, because ego means not beating the chest or I'm great for love. No. Ego, in Swamiji's definition, he say it means cognizing you lesser than you are divine, your God, is ego. See, in the Vedic tradition, the Guru tells you the truth. You're Paramashiva, you're consciousness. But when you associate with this body mind, you will not remember your consciousness. You only remember this body mind. Okay? So when he said that to exist, the ego is not needed. Okay? So this is what I want you all to contemplate first. See, he gave an example. See, for an animal like a cow to breathe, a dog to bark, right? All these, it does not need ego. It just exists by its very nature. It doesn't need an identity. Oh, I'm so and so cow, right? They don't even feel they have an identity. They just exist naturally. So it doesn't need any character, any personality, right? If you look at the animal kingdom, all right. But for human being, what do? We're so afraid that if we lose this identity, this body mind you created since young, you associate yourself, I am so and so, I am like this, I am like that. Okay, see, you will not be able to use, if you are so afraid to drop this identity, you will not be able to use your body. Okay, you're afraid to drop this identity, your body will not function smoothly, because when you associate this identity, you will dictate how this body function. This body, let's say you are someone who is very driven, very goal oriented, you drive your body nuts. Okay, even the body is crying and telling you, it's too much, you just tell the body shut up, and you use your will persistence of the mind to drive the body to a breakdown, and then it collapses, right? So this identity of being driven, being greedy, you're ignoring your body function. So Swamiji said, if you can relax from that, your body intelligence will be awakened and you will become healthy. Okay, so if you have an idea about yourself, oh, I'm so and so's father, I'm so and so's wife, I'm so and so's brother, I'm so and so's son, I'm a daughter of so and so. So you start giving labels, right? These different labels of identity. Okay, this idea that you have, this identity that you carry, this ego that you carry, this whole identity, because this identity is lesser than what you truly are, right? Whether you associate yourself as I'm Maduga, or I'm so and so, I'm a worker for someone, I'm a business person, you carry this identity. Okay, this identity is what we call ego. It's not necessary for a smooth functioning of your body mind. Okay, so Ashtavakra is telling you, drop this association with your identity. See, obviously for ordinary human being, this is difficult to do or believe. Drop my identity, then how am I going to survive? I may not remember, I have a bank balance or a bank account, right? So how am I going to survive in the outer world, right? But Swamiji said, no, even you drop this so-called identity, you will function in a much more efficient way. So let's go to the next slide. See, as long as you have this ego of this identity, you associate this body mind, this ego will use fear to exploit you. Okay, fear is created by your ego. As long as you have fear, you're afraid, it can be exploited by your ego, by this mind. Okay, Because the first thing this ego would do is to try to make you believe that you cannot live without your body mind. It's like, how can I live without body mind? Then you become afraid. You create the fear that you cannot live without your personality. Okay? Once you are frightened, once you start believing that you cannot live in a body mind without the ego, it is very easy for ego to exploit you. It's very easy for ego to cheat you. Okay? The ego will cheat you and you don't even know. So be very clear, it is just simple fear, nothing but simple fear. The simple fear is enough to make you run away from all this truth, the higher truth about you. Because this is how the mind, the ego, stops you from experiencing your true self, which is the state of, enlightenment. Okay, next slide. So here are the things that Swamiji give a much more detailed understanding, the fact and truth about enlightenment. Okay, so see, the word enlightenment is so, I would say, many version or many interpretations. Sometimes it becomes impure or corrupted by all these different people's interpretation. Even it becomes like a bad words now. Okay, when you tell people, oh, I'm seeking for enlightenment, some of them may laugh at you, right? So because of their wrong idea about enlightenment. So now he wants to give I would say the right context about enlightenment, some fact and truth. So let's understand this from the different streams of concept right now on planet Earth. Okay, in the Eastern religion. Okay, so let's do this part. He says, since time immemorial, there has been a fight between, different stages. Okay, they are different camps. One group say there is something called enlightenment, and then another group say no, there's no such thing as enlightenment. Okay, one group continues say there is enlightenment. These are the descendant of Shankara, which is Shiva. Okay, the other group said though there's no such thing as enlightenment, it's just delusion, illusion. These are the descendant of Buddha. So for Buddhism, people who say there's no enlightenment, okay? Then for Shankara, I say there's enlightenment because they come from two very important concepts. He said the Shankara, the one who believed the enlightenment, says Puna, completion. When you're in the space of completion, you will establish in enlightenment, right? Whereas the descendant of Buddha say no, there's no enlightenment. There's only sunya, void, emptiness, okay? But both of them are leading you to the same reality. Whether you believe there's enlightenment or there's void, emptiness, you will finally fall into that space. Okay? So here's the thing he said. The people who say there's something called enlightenment, they are stating the fact. Because you can see that people who already attained, realize that state. So it is a fact. Okay? So people say that there's no such thing as enlightenment. They're stating the truth. Okay, differentiate between fact and truth. So the first group gives the fact that there's something called enlightenment, whereas the second group say by saying there's no enlightenment creates a technique for enlightenment. So if let's say there's no such thing enlightenment, then you will not run behind that goal. You will just simply fall into that space. Let's go to the next slide. He gives the next further elaboration. Fact is the idea stated as it is. Plainly, what you see is what you get. This is a fact, okay? Whereas truth is a slightly different context. The word truth means that we may not understand with our mind. The mind is beyond the mind, okay? But the moment we work on that word, let's say, that concept, suddenly something inside us open up in our being, and we end up in the truth. We experience the truth. Do you understand the difference between fact and truth now? When you understand it's a truth, the mind is not involved. Something happened in you and you just experience it and you just know it is the truth. Okay? So in many things, more subtle truth, you have to go to that space where the mind does not interfere. It means you cannot use your logic to understand the truth. You have to experience it yourself. Experience it yourself, then you just know. There's no doubt about it. There's no need to argue because the logic cannot comprehend. There's only so much the logic can comprehend. That's beyond something the logic ceased to grasp it. The logic cannot, understand it. Only the being, the consciousness can grasp the truth as an experience. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it gone a bit above your head now? Give me a thumbs up, you understand. Huh? You understand? Okay. So many people who are logically driven, who are very intellectual, they only stay at the first part. Okay. So whenever a master come to their life, they are not able to break the intellectual logical part of the mind to experience the truth. That's why to go to the truth, you need to explore and drop your logic. That's why Swamiji said, as in spirituality, at some point in time, you cannot have the mind. You need to drop the mind because spirituality, God is bigger than the mind, right? So you cannot use logic to explain God. You can only experience it. Experience it is the truth part. You just know. And the being level. Got it? Huh? So the concept that there is no enlightenment is a technique to make us enlightened. So even Buddha said there's no enlightenment. It is a technique. By having the idea that there's no enlightenment, we tend to, by having the idea that there is enlightenment, so let's say you say, oh, we want, then you start to make it into our goal, oh, I want to attain enlightenment. So when in the process of trying to make it a goal, we miss the goal. You become so attached to the goal. So anyone who make enlightenment as a goal always missed it. Understand? Don't make it as a goal because it is a path. It's a journey. It's a path to reach there. It is not the goal. Okay? So this is the major differentiation you need to catch in order to progress beyond your logic. Next slide. So he continues, when Shankara says that there is enlightenment, purna, completion, he inspires you to work towards that space of completion. He creates tremendous inspiration in all of us. So when the inspiration is created, automatically all other goals, all other material goals or ideas, all this will just drop away from your mind because you know that inspiration is what moving you forward. Okay, so that is the way how the first group move us to that, direction, the path of dropping the mind and move towards the path to enlightenment. So on the other hand, the moment Buddha say is sunya, is void, there's no such thing as enlightenment, puna. There's no need for you to run. There's no need for you to search. Immediately, the tremendous energy which is created in you, in the name of search, trying to, grasp, start falling into itself. Just fall into the being, because you stop running, you just fall into your being. It's directed towards the self, right? So the moment the energy is directed towards itself, it becomes enlightenment. Do you understand? This is the technique given by Buddha, and of course the technique given by Shankara, but both would make you reach that space. Okay? So desire without object is enlightenment. When you have certain desire but without the object is enlightenment. So when you have some strong desire with object, you work towards that object. Let's say you want to make $1 billion. Okay, so that is like a concrete object. You want something, or you want to have a beautiful bungalow, or, some kind of object in the outer world. Then you work towards the object. But if the object is removed, the same pull, okay, the desire, the energy turn into itself, right? The intensity is turned to yourself to realize yourself. This is what is needed, right? When masters say there's nothing called enlightenment, they're breaking your goal-oriented mind. The mind is so goal-oriented, is driven by goals, so to give a technique to break your goal-oriented mind, he gives it, there's no such thing as enlightenment. But by doing that, they are bringing us to the present moment, the now. Because in the being goal-oriented, you're running with the mind. You're still existing at the matter level. Okay, next slide. So, Ashtavakra say, this is Ashtavakra, this is King Janaka. King Janaka is asking Ashtavakra to give the truth. He said, just listen, you were expressed. See, I know yesterday many of you had just attended last couple of days about the science of listening, right? Shravana. That is the key. Any transformation happens only when you start listening. Swamiji said that the program doesn't start. The program only starts when you start listening. Okay? This teaching only starts to happen in you when you listen. Shravana and living it. Nityasana. So listen and you start expressing. Don't even need to contemplate. Okay? So he said, Ashtavakra's words are so powerful that they are pure technology. So pure. There's no need for you to work on these words. They don't need for you to even contemplate. These words are just so powerful, they will just simply work on you, just hit you and start penetrating into you. And these words are so powerful that just by listening to them makes the ultimate happen in you. Isn't it so cool? So with Ashtavakra's concept, you have only 2 steps. Like I mentioned earlier, when you listen, you automatically express. There's no manana. There's no need for contemplation, using the mind contemplate. See, your mind is so deeply corrupted by society nonsense, right? Depending on your upbringing, whether it's given by the people you live around, your parents, your uncle, your whoever you live with, or given by society in the school, or given by, what you call that, media. Some media plant you some wrong ideas. So all these, ideas was given to you, and your mind is already polluted, corrupted. How can you do manana with a polluted mind? You'll never reach the pure space of the truth, right? So that's why in this Ashtavakra technology is very smart. He said, don't use your mind. I don't want your mind. Your mind is too polluted, because whatever I give you, after you inside you go and churn, and then after that you have a different, what you call it, diluted version. He said, no need. Just listen and I make you expressed. Just drop the mind. Your mind is not needed. So it is not possible for you to do manana with your mind that is given, which is completely polluted and corrupted, which is what's happening to the modern society. Too many perversion, too many perverted ideas has been inserted into us since young. So we have to realize that you can function without the mind. So any manana done with this kind of mind, a polluted mind, will only create more and more trouble. Don't you agree? Huh? Don't you agree that you think that you can you can grasp this truth by doing some contemplation, but your mind is not pure. So what will come up is nothing but more pollution and more mess. Correct? All right, so next slide. So because the mind is already infused with fear and greed by society. Since young, your mom or your parents say, okay, if you do this, you're a good child, so give you carrot. If you don't do this, I don't love you, give you fear. So since young, you're already been taught fear, greed, like this, yo-yo thing, make you run, to make you do things they want, okay? So that's why he say that if your mind is already convoluted with these fearful thoughts, okay, or the greedy mind. So a fearful mind escapes through hypothetical question. Have you seen people who ask all these hypothetical questions? They're useless. Because they don't dare to venture, they just keep asking questions. That's why at some point in time, when Swamiji was in the early days of his teaching the world, many people will come with their hypothetical questions. And then after that, Swamiji will say, when he knows that it's coming from that, the mind just wanting to ask for the sake of asking, he'll put a stop to it, okay? See, when you're afraid to enter into the reality, the truth, when you're frightened to face the truth, you create hypothetical questions which does not exist just because you want to show your intellectual powerness, right? And then hypothetical questions are like shields, like protection that you use to protect yourself from the truth. Okay, this is the cunningness of the mind. The mind which creates hypothetical question is deeply centered on fear, because they're so scared to venture into the unknown. So they will ask 10,000 questions. They ask the master, can you answer this, can you answer this, can you answer that? But they don't dare to do anything. They just keep asking only. Okay? At some point in time, you have to do it and stop asking. So when you are centered on fear, not only you create problems for yourself, you also create problems for others. Okay? Because fear is one thing that make you mess up. So be very clear, either your mind will cheat you by allowing you to think you are being exploited, or someone may exploit you, or someone may cheat you by really, make you believe that. So the mind is so cunning, it will just cheat you by making you feel that, you're going to be exploited by someone, okay? Or someone will cheat you by doing something. So someone else may cheat you only once in a while, okay? But your mind will cheat you all the time, 24/7. Okay, let's say you get cheated by someone. At some point in time, you're going to realize, hey, this person is cheating me. You will put a stop to it, right? But the scary thing is, you don't even know your mind is cheating you all the time. And when you don't have the subtlety, you will just swallow your whole life. Your mind will just swallow your whole life, and you will just be wasted. At the deathbed, you just realize, oh God, I trusted this mind, and this mind became my master. And then I forgot to listen to my being. And look what he has created. I just wasted this birth. This is the worst punishment that can ever happen to a being, a soul. Run behind the mind and missed the reality. Okay? Because the mind will make you create all this fear and question, thinking you're very smart, thinking you're very, very intelligent, but missing the whole truth. Okay? So next slide. All right. So before we enter into unclutching for 21 minutes, I want you to quickly take 5 minutes to pen down the suffering you're currently experiencing in the body. Remember, he said unclutch from this body mind, right? The next thing is all the fears that you have, whether it's fear of, losing the job, fear of not able to pay your bills, or fear of losing someone, whatever fear you have, okay, write it down. So these two things, I give you 5 minutes. You don't need to write grandmother's story. Just pen down what you're experiencing with the body, which is making you suffer. Remember? And write down what fears you have, okay? Because you're going to start learning to unclutch from this. Because these are constantly bubbling inside you that make you miss the peacefulness of your inner space. So I give you now a few minutes to pen down these two things. Then I'm going to guide you into how to unclutch from your body and your fears. Okay? You're writing? Don't sit very, Jadika. This is the most important part. Unless you do the part 1, your part 2 will not happen for you. Okay? Don't come here and just listen without doing. You need to recognize that these are the things that you're stuck with. Okay? What you're suffering with currently with the body. There's a typo error. Yeah. What are you suffering? Let's say somebody say, oh, I have this pain here, I have this pain there. Okay? Some back pain or some health issue. Okay? Or you're facing certain limitation in your body. Okay, write it down. Whatever the body is stopping you from experiencing the peacefulness inside. Write down all this. See, I tell you what this first step is trying to make you do. See, when you sit to unclutch from the body, see, your body has got many muscle memory. For the last, God, how many years, whatever your age now, let's say you're 40, you're 50, or whatever is your age, your body carries that memories, okay? All these memories, when you sit with your body, you will come out. You will try to manifest itself. But if you don't know how to unclutch from these memories, they will disturb your peace. You can't fall into your being. You can't fall into that restful awareness. So just recognize what are the suffering you're having with the body and what are the fears you are having in life. Just these two things, pen it down. See, if you're able to move beyond these two, I can guarantee you will reach a space where you feel so silent and peaceful, okay? And your body will start healing itself. It is because of the first thing, the first part, your fears and your suffering with the body. You can't heal yourself. Your body intelligence cannot function because it's interfering by the mind. It's being interfered by your mind. So now I'm asking you to write the first point, which is coming from your mind. Okay? Then we'll enter into the unclutching part. How many of you finished writing? Give me a thumbs up. Or you're still writing? Hey, Maheshwari, don't sleep. This is the important part, okay? You miss this part, you're going to suffer with this. You're missing the whole session. Please write down the suffering you're having with the body and the fears you have. As some people miss that, have fear that on this life they will miss enlightenment, for instance, or they feel that they have to come back. Or you fear that, what am I going to do if, let's say, I give up everything? You have this fear of giving up everything. You think that by giving up everything, you will cease to exist. You have nothing, like the whole ground that you're standing is removed. You feel like you're going to have a free fall, and have a hard landing. You have that fear. So list down all the fear. Okay? Because only with the fear, the mind can exploit you. The ego can exploit you. Okay? And remember, all this muscle memory, all this are because of the past incident you recorded in your body. Okay, see, one other thing you need to know, when we go into the process of the unclutching, all these memories will jump out. Okay? You need to be able to relax and witness it and not entertain it. Only by relaxing, you can go beyond it. When Swamiji say unclutching means, when you see that thing bubble up in your inner space, don't kill the thought, don't be distracted by the thought or follow the thought, just relax. The moment you relax, you fall into the silence of that emptiness. Okay? So then the gap between two thoughts will widen. The whole point is to make you enjoy longer and longer the silent space. Because in that silent space, that is the space of Shiva consciousness, God consciousness. Okay? Not ignore, unclutch. Relax from it. Okay? See, when I ask you later on to do the unclutching, when you sit make your body still. If let's say you're not trained your body, all the pain will come up to haunt you. And you stop moving. The moment you stop moving, the mind has already entered. Every movement is mind, it's a thought. Okay? How can you see that thought? Let's say this body is screaming pain, 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 pain. But you don't entertain it, you just relax from that, then the thing will go away. But many times, the minute the body is screaming, we entertain it. Right? That means the mind has entered. All right, so can we get ready to go into the unclutching? Finish writing? What is tulong? Tulang, what is that tulang? What is that? Oh, what is that? Okay, so please have your eye band because we're going to sit to undo the unclutching. Bring your eye band. Bone marrow soup. Oh, okay. Yes, the bone marrow soup. Very, very rich, a lot of oil, and then you drink already, you will have high cholesterol. When I scanned the uncle of my student, I saw he loved all this rich food. All right, so please settle down into any comfortable meditative posture. Ideally, if you can sit in Padmasana, go ahead. See, normally in the morning when after my yoga, I sit in Padmasana because this is the posture where you can keep your body still. So I'm going to time now. For the 21 minutes, you're going to learn how to unclutch from the body and the pain. All ready? So, do you have the eye band? If you don't have it, just close your eyes. Okay. All right, so now let's begin. Sit in any comfortable meditative posture. Put on the eye band. Yes. You need to experience a space, okay? Otherwise, so once you experience a space, you know how to get back to the space and experience tremendous healing and peace and bliss. All right, so sit now, lock your body. When I say lock the body, means in a meditative posture where you can sit for a long time, okay? And not having to move your body. Remember, I said every movement is a thought. So just sit with the head, neck, and spine aligned one straight line. And then just visualize yourself holding a key. A key that you're going to lock all the major joints, the knee joints, the hip joints, the elbow joints. You're going to lock all the major joints so that you remain still. No movement for the next 21 minutes. One energy cycle. Okay? So now take out the key and lock the whole body now. All the major joints in the body, no movement. From then on, just throw the key away so that you are now realize that, okay, you're locked in now. So in that locked position, you're going to start sitting with your body. Okay? Start sitting with the body. Whatever thoughts that come from this body, whatever irritation this body is experiencing, unclutch. Means relax from that thought. If the body is saying pain, pain here, just relax from that thought that you're having pain here. If you feel, oh, I'm feeling itchy here, just relax. Don't even go and scratch it. Just remain in stillness. See, when you sit in stillness and unclutch from this body, your body will send many, many messages in terms of thoughts to you. Everything that sends to you, just unclutch. We begin now. Just focus your awareness on this body and this mind, because body mind are just the same phenomena. It's the two sides of the same coin. So just watch this body and mind. Whatever thoughts that come from this body and mind, keep unclutching, unclutching, and unclutching. Do not entertain any thought from the mind or the memory from the body. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Relax. Then slowly open your eyes. So, Paramesh, you can stop sharing the slide now. So, how was the experience? Unclutching from the body? Huh? Huh? Hmm?
Very good.
Very good. Huh?
It's exactly what I needed today. I think Swamiji is very amazing. What both I and our family need today. Because we went for 2 days, 3 days in JB with 2 other families. Somehow a lot of things came up.
Okay.
A lot of patterns came up. And we had an argument today also. Like, I also don't know why. Later maybe I can talk with you. But it's very helpful. The unclutching.
I find out that her fears become mine.
Your
She's constantly sharing her fear.
Oh, okay, her fear.
Her fear will always move onto me, so I feel the fear. Then I feel the struggle. So I feel that maybe everyone around us, if they have certain fear, they don't address it, it may also become ours.
Yeah, if you're not aware, especially in family. When you're in a family, see, in a family, you're not just connected, like living under one roof, right? The space you also share. The thoughts can penetrate into you because of, living together for a long period of time. Yeah, so
the moment I thought is suddenly just blue light, violet light, and then I go, oh.
What does it mean, blue light, white, violet light? What means what?
Just suddenly I can although my eyes closed, but I can just see the light.
The light.
The light is changing, the color is changing.
During the unclutching?
Yes, and I feel
everything disappear, right?
Yes, I feel wow. I did not notice this before.
Amazing. Good. You?
I can feel my pain. Initially, I feel the pain, but I just relax it. Then, towards the end, I realized, I don't feel the pain really.
Correct. Only when you relax, detach from the pain will leave you. Understand? You can, like how, imagine at the deathbed, you're going to go through pain, right? Because the conscious is withdrawing from the physical body. You'll go through tremendous pain, whether you like it or not. But how to relax from that? You need to learn unclutching. Then, without getting imbalanced through this pain, you fall into consciousness and you enter into the enlightenment. You see Kalavairava, oh, Kalavairava is coming here to take me to the eternal space. Okay, anyone from the Zoom you want to share? How was it unclutching from your body?
I wanted to ask. I couldn't at once. Actually, I couldn't feel my body already. Is that correct feeling or not? It's like
Yes, because after some time you just experience yourself that I exist, just a space.
Then, I was looking, like trying to look inside, and then it's like I'm going down something, and then my eyelid started to
Twitch.
move very fast.
Twitching, okay. And then?
What does that mean?
Your eyelids, is it both eyelids or just only one eyelid?
Both. Is like, looking like I'm trying to look deep in, and then it keeps going down, going down, going down, going down. Then I see a lot of purple rays. Then after that, I stopped already, so I just don't know.
So one thing I say is that all these experiences are just journey to discover inside. Okay? So don't judge, just have the openness to explore, because this is where you're going to feel, oh, so many things that you don't know about you. Okay, you start unfolding itself. Like this morning, I tell you, when I was doing this same thing, I'm touching my exit, I realized that the prana move in my body, in this area, the right nostril area, there is a prana movement. Immediately I feel that the kundalini gets awakened, and I just started levitating, very intense kundalini awakening. So I suspect one of the nadi just got awakened and it's unblocked. So it just awakens the kundalini energy. So it's just so fascinating. It's like, what, how come it's experience here? I don't know what is here, you know. Here I can understand, but here it's like so interesting. So it's like, see, Somji say that our body got 72,000 very subtle energy channels, right? So when you do this unclutching, certain energy channels get awakened or unblocked, you know. So it's just, you can feel the prana moving, then the kundalini energy just rushes through that. So I also discovered, oh wow, how come this part is like this? So it is part of the, Somji say our body is a miniature cosmos, right? So this body is capable for you to experience the cosmos. So only through sitting and you're able to be in silence, you are able to discover the deeper layer of this cosmos. This is a reflection of the cosmos. Understand? So don't have this, what does this mean? What does it don't? Just witness it, the experience, and just take notice of that, and you can come back again, and then just this time out you can inquire deeper. Don't have the fear of inquiring. That's why I say drop the fear. Because sometimes you're in an unknown zone, you're frightened, you want to run away. Like for instance, for people who I have never experienced stop breathing. See, like when I'm doing, like I'm touching, sometimes I stop breathing. When you stop breathing, but the prana is supplied to you in another way. And you're sustained by the cosmic energy, but you don't breathe. This is a zone, but if for people say, I stop breathing, then the fear kicks in, then they try to like take a big inhalation. But if you're relaxed, you realize, hey, I don't need to breathe, something is supplying me energy, I can still live. Which means what? How a lot of yogis, they fall into samadhi. They don't breathe anymore. But how come they're alive for months? They're still alive, they're not dead. That's because the prana is sustaining, the cosmos is sustaining them without them going through the normal respiratory system. Understand? So, like this.
Now that you mentioned about breathing, I'm not even, I forgot whether I was breathing or not. No, I didn't even take note.
Yeah. So all this will start happening, you realize, oh wow, this body can actually function in many ways that you don't know is possible. Once you awaken the subtle channels and more higher intelligence in the body, okay? Especially if you have a yogic body, you will discover all this. All right, so I think we'll come. Please all of you share in a group your experiences, because I don't think we have time to go through individual sharing, because it's very deep process. Do it for the next few days. I've been doing it since like maybe today is now Wednesday. I've been doing it since Sunday. So for like 4 days now, I'm sitting with this process. Okay, this untouching for the body. I'm discovering new things about this body, and the body becomes so light and so like so power up. Okay, so I'm discovering that all the pain goes away. The pain, sometimes I get, just go away, and feeling the body so light and energetic. You explore that and you see. So with that, I would like to thank all of you. Please continue with this unclutching through the body and share it. Okay. So shall we conclude with the Purna Mantra now? Sit with the back straight. Give yourself a bow from within. In gratitude to Ashtavakra Swamiji for letting us experience this amazing technology of unclutching. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Sri Nityananda Paramashiva Bhagavata Paramastu. Om Nityanandam. Thank you, Nityanandam.
Thank you.